Was it a tornado that ripped this roof off a building in St. Joseph County? The latest on last night's severe weather in West Michigan when the news starts in 1 minute.
It's the final word on anything sports related.
Tonight, Jamal and I are taking on the cases, a combined no-hitter special.
Join the jury when court is in session, Sports Court, later in the show.
A West Michigan man paid more than $500 to get his vintage John Deere repaired. He says when he finally got it back, it was worse. It's tonight's Help Team report. And it's confirmed a tornado did this damage in southwest Michigan last night. Good evening, I'm Juliette Dragus. This is 13 on Your Side Late Night.
News that impacts you and your community. 13 on Your Side Late Night starts now.
And we begin with that confirmed tornado that touched down last night in St. Joseph County. Chief Meteorologist George Lesson's here now with the latest on last night's severe weather.
You know, it only lasted 6 minutes, and you don't have a lot of time when the warnings go off, so you have to be prepared for it. Let's take a look at some of the video you can see of the damage from that EF1 tornado that started very late yesterday evening, just about to this time. I'm going to move you through the storm rotation as it came out of Chicago. This was part of that same system that brought 7 tornadoes to the suburbs of Chicago. Here are the warnings. What we're tracking is the rotation inside of those storms. This is where the tornado warning was down in southern lower Michigan during the night last night. They continued on into the Ann Arbor area. The actual storm system itself started at about 11:09 and it was only on the ground for 6 minutes. It had peak winds of 90 miles an hour. It was almost 3 miles long, so it moved 3 miles in just that 6 minutes. So that's about 60 miles per hour, 50 yards wide, and that quickly developed right over that storage facility as it then moved off to the north and east. There were 14 reports of tornadoes here in the Great Lakes region, some wind damage here and there, all totaled around the Great Lakes region and elsewhere, almost 127 total storm reports. And on top of that, we had 2 to 3 inches worth of rain, even close to 4 over toward the Grand Ledge area. We had about 2.5 here in Grand Rapids. We set a record yesterday with 1.68 inches worth of rain, and now we are finally back up to where we should be for this time of year. We were running a deficit there for about 6 weeks, but now we're almost exactly average with about 20.5 inches. There is more rain in the forecast. We'll talk about that and when it will occur in just a few minutes.
And those who live in Colon, the village 25 minutes east of Three Rivers, are cleaning up from that tornado that was on the ground for 5 minutes. 13 on Your Side's Micah Cho joins us from the control room tonight. Micah, you have some dramatic drone video of that destruction.
Juliet, among the damage, a storage unit building had its roof torn clean off. Pieces of it could be found all over the area. Video from high above Colon, Michigan, showing the aftermath of an EF1 tornado that hit the village Wednesday night. The National Weather Service confirms just after 11 o'clock p.m., the tornado touched down on the ground for 5 minutes, the path of the twister spanning 3 miles. Mill Race Storage Facility received a lot of that damage, with one of the buildings having its entire roof stripped off. This video shows belongings in storage units uncovered and exposed. Pieces of the roof can also be seen scattered throughout the village, like here against this light pole, and again here in the middle of a bean field. Colon wasn't the only area Wednesday night under thunderstorm and tornado warnings. Parts of Van Buren, Allegan, Kalamazoo, Berry, and Ionia counties also made the list. That area got an estimated 3 to 4 inches of rain between Wednesday afternoon and evening. We also reached out to the storage facility and residents near the area, but have yet to hear back. Juliet.
Thank you, Micah. Other news tonight, a 19-year-old will spend at least 23 years in prison for the shooting death of his father. Tet Walartoon entered a no-contest plea to second-degree murder in the April 2020 shooting in Gaines Township. He also entered the plea to felonious assault and resisting charges that stem from a deputy being injured while arresting two. Today, a Kent County judge sentenced him to a minimum of 23 years in prison and a maximum of 100. Tonight, road work on Plainfield Avenue in Grand Rapids is moving to a new phase. Crews have finished work on the northbound lanes between Knapp and 3 Mile Road. They have shifted construction now to the southbound lanes. While working on the roads, crews are also replacing the water mains and nearly 50 lead service lines. Detour signs are posted to make it easier for drivers to get to local businesses affected by the work. The project is expected to wrap up in late August. Now to an update on a story we brought you in May. The effort by Native Americans across the country to raise awareness about violence toward Indigenous people. 3 Michigan Potawatomi tribes took part in the May 5th march. Today, organizers announced that they have donated nearly $8,000 they raised during the event to 2 tribal domestic violence shelters and programs. It'll be used to provide support for victims throughout the state. New tonight, people with disabilities will continue to find jobs on the lakeshore, in part because of a concert tonight in Grand Haven. Lynn Sherwood Waterfront Stadium hosted the 2nd annual Java Jam. It's a benefit concert that supports Kenzie's Bee Cafe, which is named after a young lady named Mackenzie Aney. The coffee shop provides meaningful employment for people with disabilities. The experience gives employees life skills and job training.
My soul is fulfilled here each and every day with all of our baristas. Mackenzie, when she came into our life, she changed my view of the world. When you have somebody in a wheelchair in your life, you start seeing things differently. And so we are so happy that we can provide a place where everyone's accepted, everyone's able to do their job, no matter their ability or disability.
And if you'd like to support Kenzie's Beef Cafe, you can stop by their location. It's on Washington Avenue in Grand Haven. They also accept donations. Our latest 13 Help Team report centers on a vintage John Deere riding mower and the repeated repairs that did not fix the problems. Tim Merritt claims a local shop botched the same job over and over. He says the repairs that were done on his mower made the problem worse. He wants his money back, or at least what he already paid for, a lawn tractor that works. 13 on your side's Charlie Tinker reports this one is on the way to a positive resolution.
That's a 1968 engine and everything was in a milk crate.
It took a little vision and a whole lot of elbow grease.
Rebuilt the whole motor.
Circa 1993, restoring the vintage John Deere to its former grass-cutting glory. And like clockwork, Tim Merritt still climbs up into the driver's seat.
Daily, well, weekly, whatever, ever since.
Until just recently, when Tim noticed
I had a leaky axle seal on the left side and another seal that I didn't know where it was coming from.
Because he doesn't do as much of the hands-on repair work as he once did, Tim says he called on the professionals to diagnose the problem.
Took them to Greenmark Equipment.
The Kent City location. Tim says Greenmark agreed to replace both of the vintage tractor's leaky axle seals, charging him around $540 to complete the work.
Leaked worse than when I took them to him.
Tim says Greenmark returned to pick up his still busted tractor the following spring.
Had the tractor for 2 months, got it back, still had a leaky axle.
And when he called them to schedule another repair, now the 3rd appointment.
Told me there's no parts available, which was not true.
Which Tim apparently learned after tracking down the replacement parts himself.
No problem by calling one of their company, one of Greenmark's companies in Jenison, and got them within 24 hours.
Circling back with the original repair crew, claiming they offered to eat the cost of labor, but told him he'd again need to open his wallet to haul it over there.
It'd be like double dipping, in my opinion, so I told him I would not do that.
He says the store manager then agreed to pick up the tractor personally and would be calling to schedule a time to make the handoff.
Never heard another word from him.
Tim just wants the repairs he paid good money for.
I want my tractor fixed. That's all I really want. That's all I took it there to begin with, then that's all I wanted to get done. Well, apparently they don't want to do the work, so I'll take my money back, make me whole again, and I can take it somewhere else that'll do the job.
I did call the Kent City Greenmark for an explanation. They did give me a short statement. We'll work directly with the customer. That was about it. I called Tim back the next day, learned they would be picking it up, doing the repairs, and covering those extra costs. He is expecting a call back at some point later this week with an ETA on getting it back. So resolution in progress, certainly not quite there just yet, but still some welcome headway in getting his concerns addressed.
Blue skies, great company, and a blanket in the park. The perfect combination to see a free concert. Details on the Walker Standale Summer Concert Series and when the next one is taking place. And the weekend is almost here. George will be out on the deck with details on when we can see rain in the forecast.
"13 Friends for Life," sponsored by Rapids Heating and Cooling, your home cooling experts.
It's July 13th, 13 Friends for Life Day, and there's still time to call, message, or email your Friends for Life and remind them to know they're normal. And that includes doing that monthly breast self-exam, having regular doctor screenings, and scheduling a yearly mammogram. Early detection is the key to conquering breast cancer. A community health center in Grand Rapids Creston neighborhood is celebrating a reopening after renovations. Catherine's Health Center provides medical, behavioral, and dental care for anyone who needs it, whether they have insurance or not. The newly renovated facility added pediatric and full family care to the Lafayette Street location, and newly extended hours so that more patients can be seen.
As we continue to grow and expand, we want to make sure that the communities that we're in know that we're here to support them, to help them, and provide that quality and compassionate care across all of our locations as we continue to grow and expand, and that we're not losing sight of that, and truly that we're not losing sight of where we started.
The health center is accepting new patients at all of Catherine's Health locations.
The 13 on Your Side Weather Deck is sponsored by Montel Construction, your home team.
George, a much calmer night tonight after last night's excitement.
Feeling pretty good out here on the weather deck.
It was comfortable in Walker tonight, too.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I might go home, just open the windows up a little bit if you haven't already done so at home. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good out here, but yeah, the humidity will be back, and so will our chances for more storms. 13 weather ball is blinking bright. We'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms, maybe in the morning tomorrow, but most of them will be late tomorrow night into early Saturday. And it's also red, the 13 weather ball, and that means warmer weather ahead.
The 13 Weather Ball is sponsored by LaFontaine Lincoln Grand Rapids.
Temperatures today warmed up nicely. They made it into the low and mid 70s to the north, and even mid 70s here in Grand Rapids. Our high actually occurred after our evening broadcast as the sun came out. So, we were sweating it there for a minute. But we got back on target. We did have 15, now 16 days in a row where we have done that. We had those storms last night. They quickly exited the region after about midnight, 1 a.m. And right now it is mainly clear outside. Awesome. We love to have clear skies, but later on tomorrow morning, residual showers and thunderstorms from these up here in northwest Wisconsin. Earlier they were severe. They are not at the present time, but they will eventually make their way as they're dying into West Michigan through the morning hours tomorrow. Not many of those. And then we shift our attention to Saturday. The Storm Prediction Center has placed us in a marginal 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. What I am thinking that they may trim this back to the eastern half of lower Michigan as the storms will refire there on Saturday. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. You saw a couple of those showers coming through very quickly in the morning, and then in the afternoon we're back into some sunny skies. So great Friday coming up. No all-day washouts. But Friday night, you could see those scattered shower storms coming through. Don't think any of these will be severe, but again, they could have some heavy downpours with them. Watch what happens on Saturday. There they go. This is around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we've cleared out all of West Michigan with the showers and storms, and then they progress to the east, and that is it. So my thinking is that the severe weather risk will be over the eastern part of the state. We've had plenty of rain, as we showed you. This is what we're going to see all the way through tomorrow afternoon and evening. Just enough to wet the ground, and most of that will be in the morning. The majority of it will come overnight Friday night into Saturday morning, and there are the storms really from Kalamazoo, Ionia, Alma eastward with another 1 to 2+ inches. Yeah, we started out the spring kind of dry, and now we're making up for it. Dew points are going to go up here again tomorrow after a comfortable night. Upper 60s Friday and Saturday, dropping to 60 on Sunday. So comfortable to start our week, but we'll jump right back up into the humid category on Wednesday and Thursday and just kind of hover around the comfortable to uncomfortable range the rest of next week. Out on Lake Michigan tomorrow, after maybe that passing morning shower or a thunderstorm, we'll have lots of sunshine the rest of the day. Winds will be onshore, and that will build those waves from nearly flat to 1 to 2 feet by the end of the afternoon. We got a morning shower or a thunderstorm in the forecast. Afternoon highs around 80 to 82 around Ludington and Hart, 84 Muskegon southward as the winds turn around to the south. South winds will then shift to the west up north with maybe a passing morning shower or storms. A low to mid 80s here with higher humidity, and mid 80s across the greater Grand Rapids area all the way down toward Battle Creek. 13 on your side forecast. We've highlighted that Saturday with that marginal risk. 80% of the area seeing showers and storms. We will see ours early on in the day. The rest of the day will be dry. Haze moves on in Saturday and Sunday into Monday. In fact, it'll be a fairly thick haze, so that's going to limit your sunshine, but not your sunburn capability. We'll cool off into the upper 70s and then low 80s. We kept 82 right across the board Wednesday through the following Sunday. Chances of rain during the week, but next weekend looking dry.
And it's a good reminder that we still need to wear our sunscreen even through that thick haze.
Absolutely.
Thanks, George. It was the perfect night to enjoy live music at the Walker Community Park tonight.
I saw that tonight's concert was on the 13th. My favorite number. So please come and see it.
I had the honor of welcoming the crowd and introducing tonight's band, which was Greenbridge. The free concert was family and pet friendly. I did see a few dogs there. This is the second in the Walker Standout concert series. The final summer concert this year is August 10th.
13 on your side sports, sponsored by My Toyota of Muskegon.
Grand Rapids Christian alum Kobe Buffkin is coming into his own in the Summer League as he begins his pro career. And today might have been his best moment yet as an Atlanta Hawk. The Michigan man looks to lead the Hawks to a 3-1 record this summer as they face the 76ers. Late in the fourth, Buffkin dropping a dime underneath to Muhammad Gueye, and that gives Atlanta the 97-96 lead. But Philly goes ahead, so Buffkin decides to end it himself. Drives inside, gets the fall away to go. Game-winning basket with 12 seconds left. Hawks win behind Kobe's 14 points, 99-98. Speaking of hoops, Carter Mearman has committed to join the Fair State basketball program. The guard helped the Cougars win a D2 state championship in 2022. And last year as a starter, he won his third conference championship and earned OK Gold honors in the process. Mearman averaged 12.5 points per game with 4 boards. He'll be the 4th Cougar in the past decade to join the Bulldogs basketball program. Well, today is the final day of the All-Star break as baseball makes its return tomorrow. The Whitecaps are also back, including one big contributor. 2022 Tigers first-round pick Jace Young remains on the Whitecaps roster. He has been a Whitecap for 11 months now, and he says he's really started to get adjusted to pro ball. He has a .371 on-base percentage, and that's in the top 15 of the Midwest League. Young has the stats to get promoted, and he's seen several of his buddies get called up, but he says he's remaining patient.
Man, it's not up to me. I'm gonna leave that in Garco's shoes, but obviously I want to move up. But right now we're just gonna keep grinding with these guys and keep trying to win ball games.
He's just understanding that this is a process. He's just understanding that we want the best for him, as an organization. So we're super happy to have him, and hopefully he can continue to do what he's doing, and his opportunity will come.
Young and the Whitecaps welcome the Lansing Lugnuts to town for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. Well, last week, 3 Detroit Tigers pitchers combined to toss a no-hitter in Sports Court. Mark and I discuss if that is worth celebrating.
All rise. He's Jamal Spencer.
And he's Mark Skoll Jr. Sports Court is in session. Welcome to another edition of Sports Court, and it's the All-Star break, so naturally, we're talking baseball, and we're wondering, is a combined no-hitter a special feat? And I gotta be honest, you're absolutely right it is. There have only been 20 combined no-hitters in the history of Major League Baseball. We're talking about going back over 130, 150 years of baseball. The Tigers just had their first in franchise history. They're one of the oldest franchises in the game. It's absolutely a special accomplishment when you think about the fact that there have been 20 combined no-hitters and only 24 official perfect games. It's even rarer than a perfect game. How can you not love a combined no-hitter?
Jamal, it is absolutely not a special feat at all. I don't even know how this is even a debate. I can guarantee you, a Mark Skoll Jr. guarantee, you will not remember the 3 pitchers who pitched on Sunday for the combined no-hitter. There's no possible way. I was asking you before before we started this, if you remember that the Astros threw a combined no-hitter in the World Series last year, and you didn't remember that. I didn't remember it either. It's not a special feat at all.
I think you remember some of these things. You remember the fact that Matt Manning was coming off of an injury. He stepped in and had his best outing as a pro, best outing as a Detroit Tiger. Alex Lang, the guy I thought should have been the all-star player for the Tigers this year, comes in, closes the door, steps up with the pressure. Jason Foley, that other guy that you thought people wouldn't be able to name, he got, I think, 4 outs in this combined no-hitter. So ultimately, you do remember that. But the reason it becomes special is this Tigers team hasn't given you a lot to smile about lately. And I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the last 8 years. It's been a rough go for the Tigers. So you go back and you look at Miguel Cabrera's 500th career home run. You look at this combined no-hitter. Those are the things that you're going to hold on to before the team can ultimately become a playoff contender.
Do you know when a no-hitter is special, Jamal? When it's one guy doing it the entire game. Spencer Turnbull's no-hitter a few years ago against the Mariners, unbelievable. It's because he was at his best from the start of the game to the end of the game. When these relievers are coming in, they're already at their best facing these hitters when they aren't at their best. The hitters haven't seen the pitcher yet, but the fact that they have seen the guy 3 times in a game, it just makes it all the more special if it's just one guy getting it done as opposed to at least 2 or 3.
Mark, that Spencer Turnbull no-hitter happened in Seattle. That game didn't start until 10 o'clock Eastern time. I bet you if you polled most Tigers fans and asked who had the last solo no-hitter, they'd still guess Justin Verlander because everyone forgot about that West Coast no-no. I'm telling you, man, the combined no-hitter is special. How do you rule, jury at home? Tell us on the Facebook post for this video.
And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Sports Court is adjourned.
Before we go tonight, the John Ball Zoo is celebrating its newest additions, a litter of red pandas. This is video provided by the zoo of the cubs in a maternity den with their mother, Wasabi. They will start exploring their habitat over the next few months and will help to raise awareness on conservation efforts for the endangered species. The zoo staff is monitoring the cubs' development and making sure they have the best care possible. And everyone is invited to follow the cubs' growth through the zoo's social media platforms. And this is the second litter for the zoo.
Oh, and you can kind of hear them too a little bit there. They're squeaking.
Cute.
I love how just, curious they get.
I know, I'm looking at the little head. Aww.
Aww.
I know, that's all you can say is aww.
Wait till they grow up and then they become teenagers.
Aww.
And then they're, weather, we're looking at some great weather coming up here tomorrow. A lot of sunshine, temperatures warming up into the 80s after a couple of days in the 70s. We'll take it, but we're going to lose that nice weather here tonight. Dew points have dropped. They'll be back up tomorrow. You see a couple of chances for a thunderstorm there around 8 o'clock, maybe around noon or so. But the best chance for rain will be late Friday night and during the morning on Saturday.
So the timing isn't really that bad.
Not bad.
Could be worse.
Muskegon native Khalil Pimpleton, his camp returns next week. Tomorrow you'll hear from the NFL guy on what life as a pro football player has been like.
Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Jimmy Kimmel Live is